friends, it's Denise. Welcome back to my channel. For this spread, I'm using another Honeydew Paper Shop full kit, and it's printed on glossy paper. And this one's called Welcome Spring, and I love all of the pops of color, and then of course that light wood grain pattern in some of the boxes. The shop owner, Joy, was really kind enough to send me some extras. I already used quite a bit. As you can see, she does sell some gold foiled little icon stickers, and then she also included the glitter headers for me. I should probably mention that I don't PR for her, and I bought this with my own money. I know I use a lot of her kits quite often, but that's just because I really love them, and I love the sizing of all of her stickers and everything that's included. I really like the format. If you noticed a change in the video quality, I am back to using my Sony camera. So yeah, I put down the bottom washi, and now I'm going to the Thankful Thought little section, and I'm putting the quote box that says Welcome Spring, and I love that little bunny in the bottom corner. Now I'm trying to decide if I want to use glitter headers or if I just want to use the regular headers with words. So I'm flipping back to some previous spreads to see what I want to do, and I finally decide that I want to use all 4 colors and color block. So I'm starting with pink, and then the darker blue, next the lighter blue, and then lastly the yellow. And I'm already putting down the full boxes because I'm pretty sure I'm not going to cover most of them up unless there's a writing space in the middle. The color blocking didn't work perfectly for each day. For example, there weren't any boxes that were predominantly pink, so I just picked whatever was left after planning out the rest of the week and trying to match those days. And plus there's a little bit of each color in each box, so really it works in the end, and the rest of the stickers that I use on each day should match each color. Okay, hello, this is Denise in June. What you just heard was Denise in May, so that's quite a bit of a gap, but apparently I partially edited this video and I just never finished it. So there are some clips that I did the voiceover in May and some clips where I did the voiceover in June, and hopefully you won't be able to tell, but anyways, hello. It's great to be back on YouTube. I'm planning to do a lot of videos in July, but let's see how that goes. Like I said in the last plan with me, I don't want to make promises. And yeah, I bet you thought that I wouldn't post a video in June, but it's June 30th, so I got you. Haha. Just kidding. No one noticed except me. Alright, so obviously this is a memory keeping spread, and I put memory plan with me in the title now, just so people aren't tricked or they feel like they have been bamboozled by the title. So yes, it is a memory plan with me. My Erin Condren is for memory keeping now, and for my daily planning I use my Foxy Fix pocket size TN, and then I also have a Hobonichi for journaling, but that's not planning, that's journaling. And that's my update on all of my different planning journal systems. To be honest, I feel like you guys will probably be able to tell which voice clips are from June and which ones are from May, because I feel extra silly right now as I'm recording this, and I think it's because I had a lot of sugar today with Julia, my friend Lunar Plans on Instagram. We had 85-degree bakery, and I got some grapefruit green tea, and even though I got half the amount of sugar that it's supposed to have, I'm feeling the sugar. Alright, so I finally placed down all of the full boxes and glitter headers. Good job, past Denise. And now I'm moving on to the sidebar, which is kind of silly to do because I don't really use it, but if I don't do it this way, the spread doesn't look complete, so I just do it because if I didn't, it would probably just irritate me. And now that we are done with the sidebar, I'm going to be moving on to the days of the week. So on Monday, I woke up feeling terrible. The previous weekend, on Saturday, that's when I started feeling like a dry cough. And then even on Sunday, when I was hanging out with friends and family, I felt like it was just a cold, like it wasn't that bad. But Monday morning, I felt terrible. I had a fever, so I had to take some sick days off, which sucked because I really wanted to save those. And I even had to spill into some personal days, which I wanted to use for vacations, but what can you do? You get sick, and there's just no way I was going to go into work that day. So I took a half box and I wrote that in with a brush pen, and then I used a kind of dying looking Maru in that half box. Above that, I took a pink scalloped label and layered a sick Kanachi girl from Kina Prints on top. I already shifted my planner down, but in that little space above, I used a little heart icon because I needed to move my car. And if you didn't know, living in the city kind of sucks because street parking is limited, as in every 4 hours I have to move my car. So Brian was kind enough to do that for me. In an asterisk label, I wrote that I had a fever, like I mentioned earlier, just so that I could look back and remember that it happened, because I usually never get fevers. And then I took this butterfly deco sticker and I just wrote next to it that I slept all day. Then I used a fork and spoon doodle from my shop to mark that Brian got me some egg flour soup, which is my favorite to eat when I'm sick. Then on Tuesday, I took another one of the asterisk labels to note that I had another fever when I woke up, so I had to take another day off. Next, I put down an important header, and then I had to use this little phone icon because I had to call Kaiser, which is my healthcare provider, but it didn't match that blue color. I guess I was just like over it and I was like, whatever, a little pink won't hurt. So I wrote next to that, and then underneath I used this really beautiful pattern page flag, and I love that detail that Joy puts in some of her boxes where the edge is just like a little thin white outline, and I don't know, I really like that detail. And then on top of that, I used another sick Kanachi girl, and then I wrote that I needed to email my work. I basically slept a majority of the day again, so I got to use that circle icon with the little sleeping cloud, and I wrote rest up next to that. Underneath, I put down a to-do header because I had to go pick up my sick note from the doctor. So I did that with Brian, and then afterwards he was really nice and he got me milk tea from Boba Guys. I got my standard classic milk tea, but instead of getting it iced, I asked for it to be hot, and that just tasted really good, especially when you're feeling sick and you need some warm liquid. So that's my suggestion, and yeah, hot milk tea. I don't think people try it enough. So I wrote that on a quarter box, and I used a boba doodle sticker from my shop, and now I'm already on Wednesday. I had another day off, another fever. I just wasn't getting well. That flu, man, was terrible. I put down a pot and washi strip, and I used that day off sticker, which didn't really match with that light blue shade, but whatever. And then I used a bildew sticker, which again didn't match, but I had a bildew, so had to mark that. Underneath, I used a binge watch sticker from my shop and this chilling and kind of cozy girl from Happy Daya. I love that character that she draws. For dinner, Brian took me to Marugame Udon, which is a very tasty Japanese noodle place. And they also serve onigiri, which are Japanese rice balls with filling, so that Happy Daya food sticker was perfect to use. And then I wrote that on a quarter label. Underneath, I took another small heart circle icon, and I wrote that we had to move my car again. Just to clarify, it's not like it's every 4 hours up to 6 p.m., so I can leave it there overnight. But I think Brian had to move my car anyways to a different spot. So when I was filling this out, I didn't remember what I did Wednesday night, so I just moved on to Thursday. But don't worry, before this video ends, I will fill up that spot so it won't just be awkward white space. So on Thursday, I went back into work, so I wrote that in a quarter label, even though I still wasn't feeling 100%. I didn't have a fever, and I didn't really want to take another sick day off, so I just pretty much locked myself in my office and didn't talk to anybody, but I did work. And I used a character sticker from Happy Daya, and that one's an early morning groggy looking one. In a page flag, I took a flower teapot, also from Happy Daya, layered on top, and then I wrote that I drank some green tea. And then after work, I gassed up my car, so I wrote that with an asterisk dot next to it. And then apparently I went to Michael's after that, and I wrote that on a shopping cart label. I can't really think of what I would pick up if I was really sick from Michael's. The only thing I could guess is the washi container that I use currently. It's the 3-drawer one that you can fit a whole bunch of washi in, and there must have been a sale going on, and I had to pick it up that day. So that's the only thing I can think of that would motivate me to go to Michael's on a very sick day. So I don't think I mentioned it at all during this entire voiceover that it was Brian's birthday on Friday, the 23rd. And the 23rd, that's when we were planning on flying out to Seattle, but spoiler alert, we didn't end up going. So on Thursday night, we celebrated his birthday with our friends with some dinner at a Japanese place, and we got some ramen. So I used a ramen noodle sticker from Happy Diet on top of a full box. And then I wrote down that we did some laundry because, like I said, we were still prepared to go to Seattle until Friday hit. So in the full box of Friday, I put this, I think this one is the Button character from Once More with Love. Although I want to say it's Cork. No, it's Button. It's Button. So yeah, I brush lettered that it was Bub's birthday, and I called Brian Bub. Like, it's a very common name to call your loved one, I think. So I wrote that down, and I also have a candle sticker from my store to decorate. And then underneath that, I took an appointment label and a plain icon, which, yes, that one does not match the pink color scheme of that day, but that's okay. And I wrote that we canceled our flight because for Brian's birthday, I gave him the flu. The entire time I was sick, he was totally fine, felt great. But right when Friday hit in the morning, he had a fever, was not feeling good. So we obviously could not go to Seattle, and we canceled our flights. Luckily, it's with Southwest, so we just got our points reimbursed, so we can use it for another time. But yeah, we were quite sad, but of course his health comes first. So on a heart label, I wrote that Brian had a fever. And then I also wrote that it was the beginning of my spring break once that work day ended. So I wrote that on a half box with my brush pen. So we had a very chill evening, and I felt so bad. I obviously did not mean to give him the flu on his birthday, but we did get some Chinese food, so I wrote that on a meal label, and then we watched an episode of Kimmy Schmidt, so I used a TV label for that, and then I did give him his actual gift, which I got him tickets to Hollywood Bowl to see Beauty and the Beast live in concert, which is great, and of course I got 2 tickets so he can take whoever he wanted, and he picked me. So I used a little present icon for that, and then I took one of the page flags and I layered on top this sleeping emoji from the Coffee Monsters Co. to mark sleeping early that night. Next, I placed down the weekend banner, and we had a pretty relaxing weekend, not too eventful. We watched an episode of Nailed It and ate some leftovers from the night before, and so I wrote those on some labels. And then I did get some black milk tea, so I wrote that and I used this milk tea sticker from Stationery Heaven Co. Next, I placed down a quarter box and I wrote that we had Blaze Pizza for dinner. The pizza doodle is from Happy Dia, and when I go to Blaze, you can customize your flavors, and I always get like barbecue chicken with spinach on top. That sounds really good right now. And we took that to go to bring home to eat while we watched a movie. So Brian and I, and then our friends slash roommates or apartment mates, we decided to watch Lady Bird that night, and I brush lettered that on top of the movie marquee, which just so happened to match the color of that day. So I was really pleased with that. But then of course I screwed it up, and when I was trying to do my fancy lettering, I messed it up, and I don't even know what I was trying to spell, but I took some white out, fixed it, can barely tell, but it still looks not the greatest. And then in that blank spot underneath, I just added a little popcorn bucket, even though we didn't really eat popcorn, but it's just really cute. And there was a little bit too much white space at the bottom, so I took a very thin strip of pattern washi. On Sunday, I started with a TV label to mark that Brian and I watched How to Get Away with Murder. I don't even know what season we're on right now, like 4? I don't even know. It just, it's on Netflix, so you just click, watch the next episode from where you left off. And then we woke up pretty late, but I was craving breakfast, so I made us some simple eggs and toast, and I used an egg sticker from my shop to decorate. Then I used an asterisk label to mark that we watched the Duke versus Kansas basketball game, which I am not very into sports. I'm only into sports when Brian is, I guess. And somehow I got looped into doing this bracket thing, and I was actually doing pretty well, so I started to get really invested in it, even though I had no idea what I was doing when I was picking the teams. I was literally, I think I mentioned it in a previous video, like I thought it was a football bracket, so I just picked schools that I thought might win a football game, and then I realized that it was basketball, so obviously I'm not very well educated in sports. Anyways, I took a quarter label and I wrote that I guess I planned next week, maybe in my TN, I don't remember, and I used a planner sticker from the kit to match. We made a quick grocery trip, so I used a shopping cart label, and then I filmed some Plan With Me clips. So I used a half box and then I brush lettered that, and I used a camera icon from my shop. And then we ended our night by being a bunch of couch potatoes and watching Netflix. So I used some strips of pattern washi and then I layered on top this munchkin sticker from Once More With Love. And then after I finished doing that and making the stickers straight, I flip back the planner and then I go back to Wednesday night because I remembered what we did. We did some planning for our Seattle trip that was supposed to happen. So I used this half box and a laptop icon from the kit and I wrote that down and then I placed it at the bottom. So that is it for this plan with me, or memory plan with me, I should say. And this is what the spread looked like. I'm showing you the rest of the stickers. I have a bunch left over that I'm going to be using in my TN. And I'm taking some of the deco stickers and kind of sprinkling it on top to make it a little bit more decorative since I'm not using the date covers. So yes, if you made it this far, thank you so much for watching. Connect with me on Instagram if you want to be more up to date and chat with me on there. And yes, I will see you in my next video. Hopefully that won't be long if I follow my schedule. And I hope no one minds that this is a March spread, because if I said that this was in June, would you even know? Maybe not. So, alright, see you guys later. Bye.